Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Renault UE 57. It's a Tier 3 French tank destroyer located on the south spawn of Lakeville under the command of Horrorfiend. Game on! Well, this little tankette is actually made from a UE2, which is, if you know it, it's a tank tractor, or an artillery tractor rather, for towing artillery around. It originally didn't have a gun. It was just used to actually move the guns about, and therefore it was just a tractor as such. Now, during the war, 1943, they decided to try and make a tank destroyer out of it, and they fitted a British 6-pounder 57mm main gun to it, and all BT7 in sight. We're in a Tier 3 game, only Tier 3 tanks. Now this 57mm will do 75 alpha, and with the standard rounds 110mm of pen, and with the premium rounds it does have APCR. It can do 180mm of pen. There's no HE, I'm afraid, so you have to use one of those two. You can see he's fair creaming the enemy here. That LTP didn't expect to get hit that hard, and yes, he's using standard ammo to get shots on these guys. And they're pulling back. They obviously don't like getting hit. Oh, now Panzer IIJ. The Panzer IIJ is, of course, the tank that's actually got huge armor. Very difficult to take down, but with these 57mm rounds, he's actually going straight through. He's carving this thing to pieces. Yes, the high premium vehicle has just been wiped out of the game by the Chi-Ha on the side. Okay, the LTP, he's gone. Blown his lid. Who's next? Amazing performance, isn't it? It's one of the few tanks on the battlefield that can actually do this. T3 convert. Again, one of the bad things is it does take a little while to dial in. It's a few seconds before it dials in. It does actually have fairly good camo. Fast rate of fire, good speed, well, good speed, 36 kilometers an hour, maximum speed forward. Fairly poor speed backwards though. But it does have small size, again, so very good camo. And it can do handbrake turns. The bad thing about it, it's got terrible gun depression, only 2 degrees. It's got a terrible narrow arc of fire, 7 degrees either side, so 14 in total. It's got a very poor traverse, which means it turns very slowly, and it can only use AP and APCR, but that's not stopped him getting his first kill there. He's just taken out the Chi-Ha on the enemy team. It's the lightest tank in the game as well. It's only 2.7 tons, and that's empty. With a fully loaded version, it's actually 7 tons, in fact, if I remember correctly. 7.9 tons, so it's actually quite heavy if it's fully loaded, but that's mainly because it's carrying shells, and it will burn through those shells very quickly. In actual fact, the vehicle, if it was to be used in combat, would have the crew standing behind it servicing the gun. The gunner, the commander rather, and the driver were the only two actually inside the vehicle, but I'm not sure they want to be inside the vehicle, to be honest, unless of course the driver had to be there to move the vehicle. Mainly down to the fact that, of course, it's got very poor armor. It's very thin, you could say. 9mm at the front on the hull, and 6mm on the sides and the rear. So virtually any shell's just going to go straight through. So you wouldn't want to be inside the vehicle and restricted. In fact, I seem to recall the Chieftain actually did get into a UE2, the tractor, and he had difficulty getting out of the thing again. When the oh dear, the tank's on fire test. Oh, he got the hit on the Valentine at distance, and he got the kill. That's his second kill of the game. Let's see what he can do with this lot. There are a number of enemy tanks just outside the town. We can see a Panzer S35. Now the Panzer S35, that's a captured Samur S35. Okay, we seem to have got our T127 all the way down the lake road to the other side. So we're okay from that direction for the moment. But he's parked himself Well, he needs to be in the bush really to get the full advantages of that of the camo. But this little thing, you can see how tiny it is. Now, originally when it was built, they actually called it the Rat, but I think most people know it in the game as the Lawnmower, because basically it just looks like a lawnmower. Oh, and our T127 has gone down. Ouch. They only made one of them, and it never saw combat. It actually performed very poorly in trials, and I think that may be down to the fact that, of course, it was very slow to move about. It's supposed to have a high first frontal speed. Well, he's taken out the Cruiser 3 on the enemy team, but there's not the only tank down there. There's a BT-7 Art as well, and that's the tank, the BT, the Booster Tanky. That's what it means, BT. And Booster Tanky means fast tank in Russian, and it's got the 75mm artillery round, or the howitzer in it, but the low pressure howitzer, so it's only a tiny one, but it's still very deadly. Of course, that's a premium vehicle. It's always fun to get because, of course, it is kind of an assassin. You just drive up to an enemy tank, blast them once with the howitzer, and then disappear into the distance quickly before they can react. Well, so far, we've seen the Panzer S35. Oh, he's put himself in the bush now. That's good. We've seen the BT-7, but they don't want to come out of town. Now, maybe that they've seen all the tanks that are actually behind us, and there aren't quite a few. There's the Panzer III Aslains who's still AFK in the cap. There's a BT-5, an M15, and just in front of us we've got the Cruiser 3 who's going in to have a look and see if he can spot them, and they might be staying just on that side of town because, oh, he's being fired at. The ground got kicked up just near him, and now he's taking fire. Yeah, he's found the enemy, but he hasn't found them. And now he's starting to lose hit points. Oh, he's losing a lot. That looks to me to be the Samur. I think if I remember correctly, he's got a 47mm gun, which I think is the standard French gun that you find on, well, on some of their vehicles at the very least. If you ever look at these shells, they're actually, the 57mm, the 6-pounder shells are actually quite big. A 2-pounder shell is quite small by comparison. And of course, the reason why the Matilda's got such a fast fire rate is that you can literally pick these shells up by one hand and just shove them into the breach really quickly. And because on the Matilda, as you pile the shell in, it closes the breach for you. So it's just the fire rate, how fast the loader can actually pick these shells up from the rack that's around the base of the turret and just throw them into that breach as quickly as it can. When the gun fires, it automatically extracts the shell. Okay, we've got a Panzer S35 just popped up on our left. He had a look, he got spotted, and he turned around and went straight back. No, he's not coming back. I think he's seen so many vehicles in this area that he doesn't want to go any further, which is actually a wise decision. He must have gone all the way back through the town, come around the lake, and then come over the lake road, thinking he'd get some easy pickings. But it didn't work out well for him because at the time, Horrorfiend was actually in the bush, and so he couldn't see Horrorfiend, but he probably could see what was behind Horrorfiend. Oh no, he couldn't. He couldn't see the AMX-38, and that's probably why he knew that guy was there, but he couldn't do anything about it. Okay, Horrorfiend is deciding to go valley. We've just got to worry that the BT-7 and the Panzer S35 might come back. To be honest, I don't think they will. Oh no, they won't, because the Panzer S35 is now in the valley. So obviously he's changed position. Now, we've lost a fair number of tanks up here at the bottleneck. And I can see on the tank list that the enemy does have a Pak 40. So that might be the cause of the problem. He's got one kill. They do have a few tanks who've got more than one kill as well. Yeah, the Pack 40 is probably the problem. He's got the 75mm gun with 110 alpha, if I remember correctly. And yes, he's quite deadly. And if we get close to the edge here, we'll get spotted. The Sahariano, I should say, is actually in proximities, but closer than 50 meters. Okay, we're going to try and get shots on him. Okay. This is good. He's trying to only expose as little as he can. He's got a shot now, but that 2 degrees of gun depression is really causing us problems. Just aim for the lower part of the vehicle. Okay, he's decided to fall back just a little and wait for the guy to make the mistake of coming forward. He's doing it. Yes, he gets the first one in. Go for a second. Yes, gets that one in. Go for a third. Yes, he gets that one in as well. And potentially he's got a high caliber. It just popped up on the bottom of the screen. So 1,374 is 20% of the enemy hit pool, or at least part of it. Oh, yeah, we're going to take a couple of shots here. Ow. Oh, but the Sahariana goes down. Now, can we get the pans? Oh, no. We got hit by we must have been spotted by the Pack 40. I think he may have been using the Sahariano as the source of his information as to where the UE57 was. But he's hit us, and that may be the reason our teammates won't come through the pass, because that Pack 40 is shooting at them from way, way back. And of course, he's got very long view range indeed, very long. And of course, a wicked and very accurate 75mm gun. So that's why they didn't come through, and that's why our force that went up the valley all got killed. Okay, well, they found the Acton Isaac and he's been killed. And now we've got an AMX-38 on that side of the pack. Horrorfiend is going to stay back for the moment because he wouldn't want to face that Pack 40. He's a one-shot now. He's only got 50 hit points. That thing will do at least 110 if I remember correctly. And the AMX is now in the cap area. We still don't know where the BT7 Art is. He was seen near the town, but he's probably come back. Okay, AMX capping. They'll force the Pack 40 to come out. The only question is, which side will he go? Because we can see on the mini-map that he was on the other side of that rock. Okay, he's making a run for it. Well, he's been spotted. There's the Pack 40. Can we get beneath the gun? Yes, we've got below. So he can't shoot at us now because we're below the gun depression. Oh, and the Acton Isaac has gone. Well, it's not an Acton Isaac, it's an AMX-38. And he's gone round to take on the FCM, the Pack 40, face to face, which is a bad decision because, of course, the Pack 40 will just cream him. He'll go down with the next shot. Oh, and he has gone down, and we've now just passed the 2-minute mark. Now, can we get 2 shots? Or we just need 1 shot on the Pack 40 if we can get him. He had to adjust. Gets 1 through the gun shield. Can he get the kill shot? Yes, he does. Only just. I had a feeling that Pack 40 gun was going to come down and wipe him out with just 1 shot, but he managed to get the guy. Now he needs to get behind. Oh, there's the enemy BT7. Now, has he seen us? Yes, he has. Okay, so, and there goes the camp, so he's firing at us. 1 shot. Can we get a kill shot? Oh, no! Stolen! That would have been a Top Gun, but it is a win. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first ace tanker for Horrorfiend in the UE57, the Renault UE57. Yes, they were made, the tankettes were made by Renault. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 5 in the end. In fact, you have to scroll the screen in order to see all the tanks he did hit in that one. He was just 1 short of getting a Top Gun, and then the Chiha stole that last kill away from him, even after he reduced the BT7 Art to minimal hit points, only a couple left, and the Chiha thought, I'll have that. Unfortunately, that denied him a Top Gun. So bad luck, Horrorfiend, but at least you did win the game for your teammates, because by taking out that Pack 40, you made it possible for your teammates to get to the cap. He also got a sharpshooter for getting 10 or more consecutive shots on the enemy, a master gunner for getting 5 armor penetrating shots in a row, duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, and of course that was both the Sahariano and also the Pak-40. And he also got a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. And lastly, he got the high caliber. He did do the most damage in that game. And his win rate in the game was 9,527, which is super unicorn and quite a bit more. So very well played indeed. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he did get the highest damage in the game, 1,577 hit points. Second highest damage was the Pak-40. Yes, he was being a pain to our teammates. He was actually hitting them, but he wasn't killing them. He was actually just reducing their hit points to enough so his teammates could get the kills. 5 kills went to Horrorfiend. Yes, he got the highest number of kills. 3 kills went to the Chiha. 2 kills went to the Pak-40, the Panzer S35, the Panzer 38T, the Valentine. He also got a cool-headed, and the Panzer managed to get a cool-headed as well. And and on our team, the M1542 got 2 kills, the T127 got 2, and so did the Panzer 3 Aslains E. When it came to base XP, we can see, Horrorfiend got that one too. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 778 was the highest score. 619 went to the T127. And the third highest was the Pak-40 on the enemy team with 550. So he did do rather well, considering he was the leading scorer for the enemy team. And he almost was the problem that would have stopped us and forced us a draw, I think, in the end. Unless, of course, that AMX 38 was able to force the Pak-40 out of his position to try and get a reset. In fact, he did in the end force him to come out. So let's have a look at detail. 37 shots fired. This thing actually carries 125 rounds, so you've got plenty of ammo in any condition. But in actual fact, most of the ammo probably wasn't actually carried on the tankette because it was such a tiny vehicle. It would probably have trucks or vehicles actually carrying most of the spare shells rather. And he got 0 splash. Of course, he had no HE rounds because he was using the 57mm, and that doesn't have HE. Did damage of 1,577 hit points, of which 780 were at more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits from the enemy, all 3 were penetrations. 2 came from the Sahariano, and 1 came from the Pak-40. If he'd been hit by 2 shells from the Pak-40, that might have been a bit of a problem, but luckily enough, he didn't get hit by 2. He managed to save getting hit by the second Pak-40 shell. 11 enemy vehicles were damaged, 5 were killed, and he got 104 hit points of damage assistance. I think that may have been spotting assistance, and 54 capture points while he was sitting in the cap at the end. He earned a profit of 69,068 credits on a premium count. That's very good going, but he did get a mission completion bonus of 50,000. But he also took away 2,334 experience points. But best thing of all is he did get his first ace tanker in this vehicle. And the crew are not even 100%. Yes, amazingly, this is not a 100% crew. So he did very, very well in this game. So he just can't wait until they're fully trained. And then he can take them out and be a little horror for the enemy team. So I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.